Here we are, Royal Ones. This is the fourth installment of Meet Your Strawman. Get ready because we're going to go in tonight. This is the path to freedom. Now please note that an American birth certificate, an Australian birth certificate, an English birth certificate, a Canadian birth certificate, a New Zealand birth certificate, they state quite clearly that it is not evidence of identity, meaning that it has nothing to do with any human. Marked on it is AU copyright or US copyright or UK copyright or CAN copyright, etc., showing clearly that it does not belong to an individual and was created by the state. This act of registering a child makes that child a ward of the court, and the child can be taken away from the parents at any time. What the fuck? The legalese definitions of words which sound commonplace can be found in Blacklaw's dictionary, and the current edition is the 8th. Interestingly, in legalese, you the human are defined as, drumroll please, a monster, which shows exactly what the people who use legalese think of you. Charming people, aren't they? Another trick they try to play on you is to imply that a summons is something that you must obey, human, while in fact it is only an invitation to attend their place of business. They are not inviting you, the man or the woman, but instead they are inviting the legal personality to their place of business. And please note that there is a choice, as it is only an invitation. The legal personality is just a piece of paper, a birth certificate created by the commercial company called the Australian Government Corporation or the United States Government Corporation or the Canadian Government Corporation, etc. It is not the human. You can't be forced into a contract, so they have to deceive you into entering into one without even understanding what the fuck you're doing. They are using deception, as every judge's court is a trading name of the commercial company called the Department of Justice, which does not have a parent company listed, meaning that it is a parent company itself. Legal people on being shown this company registration respond by realizing that if this information is genuine, which it is, then the Australians and the US, the English, the Canadians, the New Zealanders, they've been lawless for more than 100 fucking years because the whole justice system is being dealt with by a commercial company. Douchebags. Going to court in connection with any civil action is a very bad idea, as the only function of a court is to judge between two parties who disagree and then penalise the loser. The court doesn't care who wins or loses, and the objective of the court is to make a profit for its owners, as it is a commercial enterprise, and its purpose is to acquire money from anybody who is foolish enough to attend. If you look at the summons, which is really an invitation to go to court, you will see that it is not in your name, but it's in the name of the straw man, which they are hoping to fool you into representing. Let's talk about dealing with debt. We've all dealt with debt. Debt is fucked, alright? No one likes debt. But have we actually ever been in debt? Yeah, we have. But should we have been in debt? No, we should not have. Because of the very high percentage of the money earned being taken away from the average person, it is not unusual for people to end up with what looks like debt. Most people spend their time worrying over the statement of what they are told that they owe, and they do endless calculations to see if they agree with the numbers which they have been sent. Again, this is the sort of misdirection which magicians use to fool audiences. Look, I got balloons. They're distracting their attention away from where the action is really taking place. Here, the question is really not how much is owed, but instead, is anything actually fucking owed? No, it isn't. You need to remember that any financial institution is a legal fiction and does not actually exist. As a result of this, it can only deal with other legal fictions, essentially other pieces of paper. Like I said before, if you identify as a piece of paper, you're fucked. And it can't have any dealings with a man or a woman, as they are not legal fictions. It is also important to understand what passes for money nowadays. Let's say our trusty friend James Martin. He goes looking for a loan, and he fills out an application form with the swindle bank for 10k. Interestingly, the form which he is asked to sign says that he has already received the 10k, although the loan has not yet even been fucking approved. The next day, the loan is approved, and James is handed a check which he is asked to sign and deposit to his account with the Swindle Bank. We won't follow up on that very interesting procedure at this time, but please remember that he has now provided 2 signatures for 10k in the Strawman name, and all he has received is a 1 and 4 zeros in the accounts of the Swindle Bank. All goes well for several months, until James loses his job. He doesn't manage to get another one. This is financial trouble, which he does not know how to deal with. Time goes by, and James has not had sufficient money to make payments against his loan from the Swindle Bank. He starts getting letters from the Swindle Bank saying, "You must pay the arrears immediately and keep up with the payments in the future, human." There is not the slightest chance of that happening, as James just does not have the money and he doesn't know what to do. Fortunately, Poiter, the next door neighbour of James, happens to be an independent financial advisor with years of experience. James has the idea of asking him for help. Poiter is willing to help, and so he sits down and goes through all of the paperwork, and then he tells James, "You must not ignore this situation. Write back immediately and say that you agree to pay any financial obligation which you might lawfully owe, on the condition that they provide 1. Validation of the debt, that is, the actual accounting. 2. Verification of their claim against you, that is, a signed invoice. And 3. A copy of the contract binding both parties, you and them, in a letter by certified mail, so that there is an independent witness to it having been delivered. Every letter you write should be marked clearly, without prejudice, which means that you reserve all your lawful rights and you accept no contract unless it is shown to be lawful by meeting the 4 essential conditions to a lawful binding contract. Namely, 1, full disclosure. You were not told that you were actually creating the credit with your wet ink signature. 2. See, I suck at counting sometimes. 9, 7, 3, 27. Equal consideration. They brought nothing of value to the table and so had nothing to lose. 3, lawful terms and conditions. Yours were based on fraud. And 4, the wet ink signatures of both parties, corporations, can't sign because they have no right or mind to contract since they are soulless legal fictions, and furthermore, no third party can sign a contract on their behalf. Bam! Suck my dick, you upper class nonces. That is it for today. We will return tomorrow. Freedom!